is subject and predicate exercise 1. So let us go through. I just need to make this a little bit smaller. Okay, the first thing we want to do is identify our prepositional phrases by placing parentheses around them. So let's do that on sentence 1. On a long day, back in the 1930s, Teddy Joe was born in a small farmhouse on County Line Road. Okay, we have identified the prepositional phrases by placing parentheses around them. The second thing is identify the infinitive phrases by placing brackets around them. And there are no infinitives in this sentence. The third thing is underline the subject with 1 line and the verb with 2 lines. Now let's go back up here to our, here we go. So here it says identify the prepositional phrases, draw a line through the prepositional phrase, find the action. All right, so let's go back down here. And so this sentence, it says to draw a line through the prepositional phrases. And that tells us that we're not going to have a subject or verb in any of those that are marked out. So here we have 4 words. Teddy Joe was born. So we ask ourselves, what is the action? The action is born. And we know was is a linking or helping verb. So we're going to underline that twice. And then Teddy Joe is the subject. So we're going to underline that once. And now we found our subject and verb very easily. Okay, number 2. So go through our steps and let's find our prepositional phrases on your way out. I'm going to put a line through that. All right, so now we're trying to identify the subjects and verbs. Close is an action. And hollered is an action. This is kind of a different sentence because we don't have a subject in front of either one of these words. So the word close is a command. So we have an understood you for this as the subject of this sentence. You close the door on your way out. That is our subject and our verb. And then here, hollered Teddy's mama. Well, this is just one of those, it's just an inverted sentence. Mama is the subject. Okay, number 3. One day he took his dog and gun and he set off for the timber to hunt for squirrels and rabbits. So let's find our prepositional phrases. So we have for the timber and for squirrels and rabbits. This used to be the way people did a long time ago. We have the word right here, to hunt is an infinitive phrase, and we always put our prepositional phrases inside the infinitive phrase. So I'm going to go ahead and underline that twice. Well, no, I won't. You know it's a verb. All right, so then, all right, I have a comma here, and that comma tells me to be on the lookout that I might have 2 sets of subjects and verbs. So I want to look for the action. So one day he took is an action. I'm going to underline that as my predicate, and I can always change it if it's not right. And so then I ask myself, who took? He took. So he, in this sentence, and it's the antecedent is Teddy Joe. So that is 1 set of subjects and verb. He took what? He took his dog and gun, and we'll learn about that later. All right, the next one is I want to go back and I want to look for an action. So I am looking, I can just do this. I can put a line through all of it. And so I'm looking right here at, and he set off. So let's just make that great big for the video. And he set off. So what is the action in this sentence. The action is set or went. Could have been a better word. Set off, that means he went. And then he is our subject. Okay. All right, let's go to number 4. The squirrels and rabbits tasted good when the family did not have any meat in the freezer. So the first thing I want to do is find all of my prepositional phrases, because I know a subject and verb will never be in the prepositional phrase. Occasionally, the prepositional phrase may act as a subject, but it will not be in there, and especially if it comes at the end of the sentence. All right, so I'm looking at this, and there's a lot of words here for me to look at. So I'm going to just go and look for the action. So here we have the action is tasted. So what tasted good? Well, the squirrels. I know you probably never eaten squirrels. I have eaten squirrels. Okay, now I have this word and whatever's on the left has to be the same on the right. So rabbits has to be. So we have squirrels and rabbits tasted. Now I still have all these words right here. So I want to look and see. Now I have this word when, and I want you to get in the habit of identifying subordinating conjunctions, because that's going to tell you you have more than one set of subjects and verbs in your sentence. So, and we talked a lot about subordinating conjunctions. You might have to review that a little bit. But anyway, let's see if we have any action. So here we have did. That isn't always a verb. I'm going to underline that. We know not is an adverb. Have is a verb. All right. So we've identified 2 verbs. Now I'm going to ask myself, who did not have, what did not have any meat? And the answer to that is obviously family. So now my subjects and verbs are family. Family did have. All right, let's keep going. Number 5, always find your prepositional phrases and your infinitive phrases. Okay. I see the word when. I'm going to highlight that because that's going to tell me that we probably have 2 sets of subjects and verbs. So I'm looking for now a verb. I know were is always a verb. It's a linking verb. And came is a verb. Oh, for all the pigs, remember the little pigs coming? Okay. Now we ask, his parents were very thankful. I'm going to stop there because of that word when. And I'm going to ask myself the question, who were thankful? What were thankful? And the answer to that is parents. So parents is my subject. Okay. And then we've got the word came. And I'm going to, when he came home. So who came? He came. He is the subject. Okay. Number 6, find our prepositional phrases. At an early age is a prepositional phrase. We have to be thankful is an infinitive phrase. And I'm going to go all the way to the end of the sentence because we have a prepositional phrase. Oh, no, we don't. For whatever food the family have. We've got a verb, and I cannot put a verb inside of a prepositional phrase. I can do this. For whatever food. That is the correct way to do it. All right, to be thankful for whatever food. So this one, we're gonna end it right there. Okay. So I am going to draw lines through the prepositional phrases because I know I will not find any subjects and verbs there. All right, so now I'm going to go through and look for any verbs. Here, the word learned is a verb. It's the action. And I ask myself, who learned? And the answer to that question is he. So there's one set of subjects and verbs. Now I have this word was. That is a linking verb. So I want to make sure I ask myself, who was, what was? And the answer to that is it. Okay. And then I have the word had. That is a verb. So I'm going to underline that. I ask myself, who had, what had? And the answer to that is family. So this sentence has 3 sets of subjects and verbs. And it's just a matter of doing what you know. Always take out what you know and then look for that verb. So let's go to number 7. The family's dairy, honey, chickens, and cattle ranch supported and fed the family at the end of the Great Depression. So at the end is a prepositional phrase, and of the Great Depression is a prepositional phrase. Okay, now we are looking for action, and I can, my eye immediately goes to these any ed words. So if there's an ed on it, it's normally going to be a verb, and I have an and right after the verb, so I'm going to see what fed is, and fed is a verb. So I'm going to underline that. Okay, now I'm going to ask, who supported and fed? What supported and fed? Well, the dairy, the honey, the chickens, all of that, and the cattle and the ranch. All right, all of that. So the correct answer is dairy, honey, chickens, ranch. What did they do? They supported and fed. Okay, very good. All right, here we have one starting with a there, so we know that something's inverted and we have a comma, so that tells us to look for more than one set of subjects and verbs. So first thing I want to do is find my prepositional phrase of some sort is a prepositional phrase. Okay, and now I look for a verb. Was is always a verb, so underline that twice. And I want to ask myself, what was there? And the word food, remember we learned about that earlier, that whenever you have the word there, your verb comes before your subject. So here, this is correct. Food was there. Okay, now let's go to the next part. And do we have a verb? We have the word was. So we're going to underline that. And what was scarce? Money. Money was scarce. All right, we found our subjects and verbs in number 8. All right, next one, number 9. We're going to identify your prepositional phrases. On earth and for clothes are prepositional phrases. So I'm going to, and sometimes it helps me if I just stick a line through it. That way I know what I'm, just a process of elimination. And now I want to find some verbs. So I know did is always a verb. And find is a verb. All right. Now I've got this word where, and I have a question mark. So that tells me that my subjects and verbs may be inverted. So I wonder, is he or money going to be my subject? So I'm going to ask myself, who did find? What did find? He answers the question, who did find? We can't say money did find because money isn't doing the action. Money is what they didn't find or did find. So he is the correct answer. And number 10, to find is an infinitive. And to straighten. All of this. So used is a verb, but it looks like it's describing what kind of nail. So that's, and I don't have any prepositional phrases. So, but I am going to mark this out because I know my subjects and verbs won't be found in that. One day tells when. So I want to find my verb. So came, I know came after all of those little pigs coming is a verb. And I asked myself, who or what came home? And the one that answers that is Teddy Joe. Teddy Joe came home. And there we have it. So in this one, look to see that you have, count up the number you have correct over 42. We're just counting the subjects and verbs. We're not counting the prepositional phrases or the infinitives. So put the number you have correct over 42 and divide that out and see what your percentage is.